Hey Leo, faith restores your heart this month. Your heart is the quintessential source to what is about to begin in your life, especially in the year of 2022. Your heart is 100% fail-proof this month. The spiritual advice card that I pulled for all of my Leo friends is the 10 of Hearts. The 10 of Hearts is a beautiful card. The first thing that came to mind for you is that this month you are going to be restoring your faith, your trust in the path ahead. A lot of you have been going through a lot of changes, especially relationship changes. Relationships have been really, really wonky. They've been all over the place, and there've been a lot of maybe heartbreaks or situations that you did not expect, especially over the last 5 years. And I feel that this last year sort of was a lot when it came to you just realizing that relationships, some of them are just not going to be along the path with you anymore. They're not going to walk that same path with you anymore. And this 10 of Hearts is a ending period to what I just talked about. That is what it signifies for me for a lot of you. The 10 of Hearts comes with a sense of understanding, but a sense of wisdom and being wiser because of everything that has happened. So that's what I'm seeing here for you for the month of January 2022. But let's unpack what else is going to unfold. So we're going to take a look at your astrology and your tarot reading. Let's dive right in. All right, Leo. So we're going to start with the full moon in Cancer. Like I mentioned before, this is going to be a very powerful full moon. And for you guys, it is unfolding between your 6th house and the 12th house. So let's first start by reminding ourselves what the theme is of this full moon. So the theme of this full moon is going to be all about feeling emotionally ready to move forward. There's a sense of readiness. The reason I say that is because the moon is comfortable in Cancer. That's where it's happening. And then it's going to be at 27 degrees. So 27 is a number that deals with mastery. It's a sense of overcoming with 27 because our emotions align with our intuition. It's being sourced. The 2 is the number of the moon, so it's overly emotional. This week starts on a very overly emotional note. And so with the 7, we're diving deep into our intuition. And it adds up to 9. So here we are initiating. We're headstrong. We are ready to move forward. So there's a sense of readiness. This is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house, if you have listened to any of my podcasts before, whenever we talk about the 6th house, my opinion and my experience has a lot to do with the obstacle course. That's what I call the 6th house. It's more than that, but to keep it simple, anything that you do from the moment you wake up until you go to bed defines how you're navigating through life, the daily habitual patterns. That's the 6th house. Now, the moon is going to be in your 12th house. This is the house of your spirituality and faith. This is the house of prayer and meditation. And so there is this big sense of faith that returns back to you, that ignites your heart, that says the path ahead is now really shaping. And it's shaping better than what you imagined. And it's also shaping in a way that will come with a new set of challenges. But it's your faith that will really prove to you that any hardship that you have gone through, you are now wiser, you have upgraded, you have been in a place where you've learned a lot about the love that you give, the love that you have, and where that love sources from for you. It's already within you. It's something that you've always known. But I believe what this full moon is reigniting is the sense of love that's returning back into your heart for the life that you are living or you have lived up until this point. There was a sense as if it was blocked a little bit. Now, I believe that this week comes also with a choice. And this choice will have to do with value moving forward, the value that you place on your life and who you are, and reconnecting to exactly what it is that you need in order for you to move on and make this choice and back it up, right? There is a sense of making a healthy choice. I don't feel that you guys are going to have a difficult week. That's what I want to say. What I want to say is that you are making a healthy choice for yourself, because a part of you is not only restoring within your heart space, but I think a lot of you are going to be reevaluating any kind of emotional ties that you have to either money or some kind of items in your life, or some type of emotional attachments that come with it that you know isn't serving you. It just isn't going to be good for you anymore. So there's a part of letting go, but it's not like severe. It's not like you're going to be grieving over it for a really long time. So I want to just say that, because that 12th house comes with an up leveling in not only faith, but also realizing what doesn't really define you in your spirituality anymore. So I am predicting that for some of you. I know it's not going to be true for every single Leo rising sun or moon. All right. So that is the first thing. Now, what's the next thing that happens that is very much a new sort of approach? That's what I want to call it. It's a new approach. It's a very visionary transit. And that has to do with the sun trining the North Node in your 10th house. Now, the North Node in your 10th house, that is a big deal because the nodes are switching now. Let's recap real quick where the nodes were at. The nodes were in your 11th house and in the 5th house. The North Node was in Gemini and Sagittarius, and now switches over into the 10th and the 4th house. Now, the 11th house and the 5th house have a lot to do with the group minds, you sharing your ideas out with like-minded people. And so what has happened over the last 18 months, that's how long this transit was in those houses, is that you may have realized where you really belong when it comes to your mindset and what it is that you think and therefore believe in your heart. The South Node was in the 5th house, Sagittarius, the truth of what it is that you believe, the story of your heart, and how you share that and where it really belongs in the world, which is the 11th house. So you have made a lot of changes. A lot of changes may have occurred. Some of them were not easy. Some of them were easy. And so now that switch is happening where you're closing out this chapter, this concentration, and now it's moving into your 10th house and into the 4th house. Now let's illuminate the 10th house real quick. The North Node in Taurus is going to bring over the next 18 months a new value when it comes to how you're involved in the world, based on the actions you take, based on the morals you have. This is a legacy house, okay? This is in regards to shaping your legacy, right? What's your legacy? Now, it's a big word. Now, for some of you, it's going to be a big deal. For some of you, it's going to be a big deal in the sense of just your career and maybe some career changes or upgrades that are going to occur over the next 18 months. The 4th house is going to realign you with where you have to have better boundaries. Who do you let in to what your emotional comfort zone is? Perhaps there have been some things that have really impacted your life up until this point. You will discover them over the next 18 months. So that is the switch. Now, the sun is going to trine the North Node the day after the full moon starts to play out. Now, what does that mean? You are starting to now see that all that you have put into your day-to-day living and the daily habitual patterns and goals that you're reviewing here, these goals that you're trying to set or the changes that you're trying to create in the 6th house, the daily habitual patterns, they are now going to help you to shape a new approach in your career. It's going to help you to shape a new vision in a way. You're going to get the glimpses of that now during that week, and a lot will more, of course, unfold. We will follow along all of that as we head into the other horoscopes. But for now, you're getting that glimpse, you're getting this hope that life is now getting to look different. And it has a lot to do with the work that you have done here in the 6th house especially over the last couple of weeks. And so this is going to be a day where I think you're going to start to understand that everything that you put your time and energy into now will start to support you, and it's real. With the Taurus North Node and the Scorpio South Node, there is a sense of real. And of course, it's Capricorn season, even more real, So I think this is going to be a very welcomed energy. I think it is going to be a little bit of an energy where we're going to have to kind of process things. And so taking time for yourself, I think, would be a good idea. Now, the other thing I want to talk about that happens approximately 10 days later is Venus finally stationing to go direct. Venus has entered your 6th house. Again, the house of habitual patterns, right? And also the house of taking a look at how receptive you are towards everything that you're doing. So what I mean by that is there a balance? Is there a balance in your day-to-day? And if there's no balance, why is the balance not incorporated? And what you must do in order to bring a healthy approach and a more receptive approach to what is happening in your day-to-day? Are you getting also something out of all of the tasks that you are doing? Are you getting something out of the fact that you are going to the grocery store at a certain time? Or is it working in your schedule? These types of details. It's an example, right? But these types of details you have been maybe perhaps working out. For some of you, it'll be less habitual patterns. It'll be more about what it looks like with coworkers, what it looks like in the organizational attention of your life. And maybe taking a look at whether your work or the work that you're doing, is it meaningful? So a lot of this review has begun since November 5th. That is when Venus actually entered Capricorn. It then got all the way up to 26 degrees, December 19th, and then it's stationed to go retrograde. And since then, we have been really taking a look at what we don't really want in our life anymore, what doesn't work in the organizational aspect, in a goal-oriented aspect of our life. And Capricorn very often has to do with just a different kind of goal or a different type of desire that we're wanting to reach in our life. It's a different mountain we want to climb when it comes to what we feel drawn to, what magnetizes sort of in our life. And so you've been reviewing this. Now, on January 29th, you are going to be in a place where there is a breath of fresh air that comes now into these themes I just mentioned. If you've been going through those themes, then you're going to realize that everything you've been reviewing, it doesn't matter how hard things were or how much it felt like you were stuck or the energy felt a little bit heavy around this area, then you are going to be able to move forward with clarity. And this clarity has to do with choices that you're making, better choices that are going to be long lasting. So if, for example, you now all of a sudden figured out that certain times during the day you shouldn't be working anymore, then this is going to be a long-lasting change you're going to implement because it's healthier for you. It's the exact remedy that you need. It's the exact thing that you were looking for. But this also comes with letting go of certain patterns that have gotten you to a particular point in your life, and it's just not enjoyable anymore. I think that is the clarity that you can gain, as simple as that, with Venus stationing to go direct. And what happens is that because you are able to get back into balance with a choice like that, you are able to reap the rewards of your hard work much easier because there's a sense of you that is becoming more receptive. And so all of the hard work that you have put in, you're able to receive it a lot easier. So that is what I'm predicting here with Venus stationing direct at 11 degrees. Now let's move forward to the tarot portion of your reading. So the first card we see here is the 10 of Hearts. The 10 of Hearts was the original message for the entire month of January 2022, which is about you restoring your faith. You restoring your faith in the path that you are taking now. Now, the very first card we're going to be taking a look at will be any other general themes for this month that we need to dive into. And what are those, themes during this time? So the first card that fell out, I cannot believe this, is the Seven of Swords. The reason I cannot believe that this card fell out, it almost fell out for every other reading I've done. This is incredible. So here the Seven of Swords is you finding something out that you didn't know about, okay? Why is this important? The Seven of Swords has to do with communication. Why is this important? It's going to help you reflect. Look, we're going from the 7 to the 8. The 8 of Swords is going to be a reflection on not repeating the past. Something that you're finding out is going to help you to not repeat the past. This is huge. I know it may not seem like it right now as we are doing this reading, but it actually is a big deal. The reason it's a big deal is because this is going to be a time, I think, where you are going to step into a new territory when it comes to what you want to actually do in your career and what you want to do in the day-to-day. So there's two things that are going to be unfolding here. That's what I'm seeing for most of you. You are going to be adding a new goal, sort of a new aim in your job, or in your legacy as a whole. There's sort of a new thing that you're doing, and you're wanting to jumpstart that. Now, the Ace of Pentacles will have to do also with, okay, so there is a particular item in a physical sense that you're going to need, a resource that you're going to need, and so you're aiming to find it. I don't know if it's a piece of technology or a piece of equipment or something like this is going to be coming up. I feel like for a lot of you, you are going to be on the lookout for it. It's almost like, are they sold out of it or something? But you're going to find it, okay? I'm going to clarify these two cards at the very end. Let's just keep going. Now, once you have this information that you're being communicated or you find something out, I feel like it comes through another person you know, or like an acquaintance that's going to tell you about a past incident. You are going to get this mind-blowing sort of validation that you knew all along. You knew all along. Perhaps the person didn't want to tell you, but you knew all along that that was the way in which they did something. You know, like this, there's 3 people involved here, okay? 2 of them have betrayed you, or 2 of them have disappointed you, or 2 of them have done something to you that were mean, heartbreaking, or at the time you couldn't prove it. But what's happening is their stuff is falling apart now, and so you're gonna find out about it. And while you're finding out about it, what I feel is going to happen in this piece of scenario or this piece of circumstance here is that you knew all along. What they fail to recognize in all of this is who you are. And that was the most hurtful of it all. Who you are, what your intentions are, that you are not this person that they were making you out to be. There's more that's going to unfold here. I mean, obviously, we don't wish them any bad things, right? But sometimes these types of things have to happen when people don't want to own up to what it is that they've done. There is a portion of you, King of Wands, that also has to own up for how you have been ever since towards them, or in general. I don't know if you need to make like an announcement, or if you need to call them, if you need to write a letter, if you need to text them or something like this, or maybe you work it out within yourself. But this is the kind of catharsis that you could create even more so this month, this breakthrough to the other side, to release yourself from this kind of energy that seems like has been surrounding you or surrounding your heart, to restore your faith, right? Ace of Pentacles. Restoring your faith is the Ace of Pentacles, with the Queen of Cups followed. An incredible time of just coming back home, okay? This is a coming back home kind of energy right here. And then as far as like relationship dynamics goes, or how you feel about, in general, about your relationship this month, the 2 of Pentacles came up, and that is that you realize that the people who are left are truly the people that will help you get to the next steps. That the process that you have been under for the last 3 years has been perfect because you are stripped back to what it is that you actually needed to see, who you are, and coming back home meant that you were not coming back home with some people that were along for the ride, but they took from you. And then you were in this space. I think at times you silently blamed yourself also for this situation, or at least it crossed your mind that maybe it was you. But the truth is that what you have now is going to simplify a process that you didn't think could be this simple. Look, we have 2 major arcana cards, the Empress and the Star. The Star is a time where we reach because of a painful experience that is teaching us to dive deeper into our pain so we can reach to other methods of faith. We can come back to faith through methods that help us to believe that there is a purpose for us, to believe that we are here for a purpose, which you haven't lost. I'm not saying you've lost it, but I'm saying that how you come out of this month is profound in a way, because this information that you're finding out is going to be, it's going to help you. It's a healing process, honestly. But what is it healing? It's healing feeling abandoned and rejected. Most importantly, feeling rejected to what you felt was a way to share yourself. Now, you are going to redefine what that is going to look like all year long. How you share yourself, what you share with people, how much of yourself you give. But boy, this piece of information here is, it's unbelievable. Okay, so let's clarify that, okay? What else do we need to know about this? It's a commitment. It's a relationship commitment you had. This relationship commitment is, could have been a marriage. It could have been, there was money involved though. Look, there was money involved. It almost looks like this person learned something from you, or you had a particular skill set, or you helped them to develop a skill set, and then bam, they were out. They were out of the picture. They took what you taught them and then they just like made money with it or something like that. For some of you, this is a family member. Feels like a family member. For some of you, it feels like this was a coworker or somebody that you really felt close to, perhaps an air sign. Yeah, I feel very much that you are going to release this now, okay? What you needed to see is what you need to see, what you need to learn. You're going to come to that conclusion. Each of you will have a little bit of a different theme, but most of it has to do with coming home to what you know in your heart to be true, and then owning up to what this turned into for you, and then releasing yourself from it. You will know how to release it. You will know how to forgive. You will know what to do. And that's what I'm seeing here. That's a wrap on today's episode. I hope that you liked this video. I hope that it provided you the guidance that you need in order to navigate through this month. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to stay connected to you, so be sure to subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Uprise Astrology Podcast, and I will see you here in the next episode.